Okay, so we got a Alcolock here with a permanent lockout. This is what happens if you don't take your monitor to get serviced as you're supposed to, or you stop paying on it. We're in a Pontiac G5, a 2008, and my sister is the one that had this installed in my car, and she stopped paying on it, and they want $160 to have it taken out. And right now, because of it, I can't start the car. You can't even blow into it to start the car. Get the right key. As you see, it says turn key off. So you can't start it, and permanent lockout. So this is going to be a two-part video. First, I'm going to show you how to bypass the ignition so that you can start the car if this happens to you for whatever reason. I'm sure you guys seen all the other videos about the legal ramifications. This is just going to show you how to bypass it if you need to, and how to take it out so you don't have to pay them. I called them and asked them, you know, can you take it out for free? It's not mine. I'm not the one that needs it. And they said that they have to charge a removal fee of $160, and I'm not going to pay that because there's no reason I should be liable for it, because it's not my device. So anyways, here we go. I'm going to show you what we got going on under here. Sorry for the light on it a little better. So you got two wires coming out of the firewall. The firewall is the part of the car that separates the cab from the engine. So they drilled through that. Two wires, I think, to the starter. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't exactly know, but basically you got all these wires down here that your device is going to be attached to. So don't worry, we're going to get more into this, so don't worry. I know it looks like a lot of wires, but these two are the fatter ones, and they're coming straight from, I believe, the starter. So the only two wires going through, I know they're blue right here, but they're black right there. There's little crimps, and they crimped on those two blacks coming from the firewall to these two wires right here. So basically, you're just going to splice these two wires together, and that bypasses the ignition so that you don't have to blow into it to start the to start the car. So this is going to allow you to start the car. So I'm going to go ahead and twist those together, and then I'm going to show you how the car will start. Okay, here we are. We got them twisted together. And excuse me, I know I said it bypasses the ignition. It bypasses the blower so that the ignition will work. So you're still going to have to turn the key, so no worries there. It just bypasses the blower. And so now we're going to turn the key. So you see we still have permanent lockout here. Says turn key off, but now there you go. So that's the first part, how to bypass it. Now I'm going to show you how to actually remove it, and I've taken a lot of these clips off right here. So this comes off, and let me show you actually how they removed it. This one's a little different than other videos you might have seen. It's a lot easier to take this thing out. And if you notice, the problem I was having is if you drive with this, you could hear that beeping. This beeps. Oh, I'm so sorry about this video, guys. I know I'm not very good at this. I just wanted to show people how to do this if they're having the same problems I was having. So this beeps, and if you unplug it, it beeps over here. So you're going to have to be driving like that until you get this thing taken out. So let me show you how to take this thing out. I'm going to shut the car back off. Okay, so if you follow this device cord, if you follow the cord, you'll notice it's got a zip tie there. Keep following it. It goes up. It goes up to this guy right here, which is another device that they just zip tied on. Well, this guy only has two wires. It's got a power button, and this white wire that's also coming from the device is a ground. And you can see the ground. Let me get a better view. There we go. The ground is just a plug that These are just like little bites. They bite onto the wire, and that way you don't have to splice it, because a lot of other people's, they're soldered or they're spliced somehow, this device, and then you have to cut them and then reattach them. But also that one, this is just screwed on. Let's see if I could leave this light here and show you. So this is the 24 volts. I know everybody disconnects their battery and all that stuff, but I'm an electrician, and to be honest with you, I'm not really worried about 12 volts. So that just comes off right there. Now your power is disconnected. All right, so now you're not getting your 12 volts from the battery, especially after this common or ground one's pulled off. But you notice that little clip's still on there, on that wire. I think I'm just gonna leave that on there. And then this one, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna wrap some electrical tape around it. I'm gonna pull this guy off now, so it doesn't, you know, touch anything else. Also, I would recommend on that one, on the ignition, bypassing the blower, I would wrap electrical tape around that too, just to be safe. Okay, so now I'm pretty sure that device is just disconnected. Now I'm going to be able to pull it all out, because this is the all these wires, that's the secondary side of the device, and then this one right here, that's the primary side of the device. So after those are disconnected, I'll just be able to pull that out, and I'll show you guys some more on that, just taking it out and what it looks like when I unclip everything. The only thing is, this ignition one, I'm gonna have to wire nut those and tape them together, because I'm not sure how they go to the starter or what they did over there. All I know is that they need to be twisted together, which means I could cut them back here with strippers, put a wire nut on it, or I mean, I really could crimp it back together if I wanted to do it right, and I could crimp it and do one of those connections. But I don't really care. I just want this thing out, and I might crimp it, but I'm probably just gonna wire nut it and electrical tape it. So that'll be the next part of this. But as you can see, this guy, that's coming from the device right here, and the only other thing it has is that white wire. Really, this thing's free now, so I'll just cut that thing out, take all this stuff out, and let me show you the car starting now. And this thing's dead now. It's got no power, it's got no juice. So what gave it juice is the 12 volt positive, and then the ground negative, allowing the voltage to run through it. So now no noise, no juice, ignition bypassed, and I'll show you taking the rest of it out, and hopefully that helps somebody if they have to do this themselves and they don't, you know, want to pay an unfair amount of money for. So there's a zip tie right there around those wires that I'm going to cut to release this guy. I recommend dikes or diagonal cutting pliers. It just it's easier to get to the zip ties, or if you have to cut real close to something. So I'm going to do that and then pull this thing out for you guys to see it. Also, I think, yeah, there's a zip tie right here, and there's a zip tie right here for the blower device. So I'm going to cut all these zip ties off and pull that guy out. So I got it all snipped off. I did notice that there was one more wire, and it goes to that little ground screw right there. So I'm going to take that one wire off, and that's all that's left. That's all that's left that holds all this stuff, as you can see. Just that one wire. And if that's a ground, then that other wire that I was calling a ground might been for something else. But either way, pretty simple. Just disconnect everything. If for some reason it is spliced there, then wherever they spliced it in between, you just got to put those wires back together. But for me, they didn't do that. For some other guys, they soldered them, and you just do wire for wire. And just be careful when you're cutting with the dikes, because you don't want, most people are worried about doing this because they don't want an electrical problem, right? That'd be a nightmare. So as long as you take your time and do it slow, then you should be fine. And then lastly, these two wires I cut loose because they're a part of the device, and I'm going to re-splice those back together, and I'm going to show you guys how all that goes. So there it is, guys. I put a 12 volt put a wire nut on that one. I took the screw out right there, and this is the device. So this was the white and the red that were up underneath the dash, and then that ground screw that was in there, and these were the ignition ones, but this is all one piece, and then the blower. So that's it. That's everything that was under there. And now we're good to go. What's up, dude? So now I just got to put this plastics back on and wrap some electrical tape around that, make sure it stays, and good luck, guys, because I hope this helped. Alright guys, everything's back on. That's how it looks now. I just wanted to mention, make sure you wrap electrical tapes on those connections that you took off, and it's not that bad. All of them are pretty much the same. They wire into the device. They got wires coming out of the device. Just get to the source where it's coming in and just take a look at it. You might find it's real simple like mine, but if I didn't look, I never would have known. So don't be intimidated. If it gets down to the point where you don't think you're going to be able to do it, just put it back and then go pay for them to take it out or whatever you got to do. All right, bye guys.